Sup, dudes? Welcome back to LOTG. I'm your host, Jeremy. I'm pretty at bliss right now. Just submitted my big written proposal for my qualifying exam for my PhD. So I'm pretty excited. Just went for a little walk in the park. I took this afternoon off because I had like a practice exam today, and I was just so gassed. I was like, oh, I was gonna take a nap, but I've been watching White Lotus quite a bit, and I ended up just like watching a couple episodes of that, just kicking it. That show is so weird. Like the plot is just odd. Like I don't know. Maybe that's why it's like interesting to me, but it's just like so random and like just like out of pocket, I would say. But yeah, other than that, like I said, I've been trying to incorporate a little story time every week. So this week I have a story that recently happened. I think I told the story last week that recently happened too. Oh yeah, the one where the guy got like slammed with water in the face. That was really funny. This week, a little bit different story. So these past 4 weeks I've been writing this big document that I submitted. And last week I went to the gym, and usually whenever I go to the gym, I'm like, I'm gonna get huge, I'm gonna lift weights, and then it's like a good release for me too. But this week I was like, nah, I want to go to the gym, and there's kind of like a crappy court at my gym that I go to, this 24-hour fitness, and I was like, I'm gonna just shoot some hoops because I haven't like shot a basketball in probably like a year. So I went there. I'm like, it's sick. I'm like homies with like the guy at the desk. So I'm always like, "What's up, Austin?" And give him a little knocks and like walk into the gym. I feel like I'm actually a local. It's so cool. But um, so pick up the ball, just shooting hoops. I'm like thinking about my document and stuff, and like experiments that I want to do, and I got a couple of cool ideas. I always remember this as a kid. Like you get really good ideas when you're just like either going for a walk or like playing hoops or like jumping on the trampoline. It's just like something about like moving and thinking. They just like always go hand in hand. But running too. But anyways, I'm playing basketball. All of a sudden, like this other guy comes up probably like half an hour later. He's probably like, I don't know, maybe a little older than me, like 28, 29. And he's like, he's got like his AirPods in. I'm like, okay, this guy's nice, whatever. I didn't really think much of him, to be honest. And then he goes up to me. He's like, "You trying to play one on one?" And I low key had a thought where I was like, "What if I asked this guy to play one on one?" And I was like, "Nah." Like, it was kind of coming to the end of the session for me, and I was like, I'm about ready to like shower and go into lab. So, I was like, "Yeah, whatever." But he asked me, and then I was like, I was like, I can't say no. So this guy's name is Matt, and we just played like ones and twos to 11, like pretty standard. It took so long. I know there's no way that Matt's listening to this, but we both agreed like we sucked. Like it probably took like over 30 minutes for that game to end. But we're going like back and forth. It's like pretty tight. We're like obviously like rimming a bunch out. Just nothing's going in. Um and then I think it gets to like 9-8. I'm up. And keep in mind, like I haven't played basketball in like a year, and I haven't played like pickup. I mean, I guess this isn't like 5-on-5, but even a 1-on-1 in like a like I can't even remember the last time I've played 1-on-1 with someone like outside of like 21 where it's like 10 people. And I got the ball, it's like 9-8, and I just like keep missing possession after possession after possession. And then he I think hits like a jumper or something, and I'm pretty sure it's nines. Like it's tied up. And of course we're just popping threes because it's like you gotta go on a high note. So I'm like trying to sauce this kid up. My handles are pretty good, but like the thing about it is when I played basketball growing up, like I never played with anyone else. So I'm always good like in the open court when I have a lot of time to like load up, shoot the ball. But like 1-on-1, like you gotta pull up. Like you don't have time to be like loading up, like setting your feet. And I'm feeling a little cocky. Like I'm like, and I just like this is like my fourth as this is like my fourth miss for three. But I like get the ball, and all of a sudden I look at him. I'm like, Matt, He's like, what? I'm like, game time. And it was with the left because I'm a lefty. But I was like, game time. It goes and he's like, oh no. And it just splashed. And I've never played a game of basketball like that where it was like super close the whole way and I actually ended up winning. Like I usually always just miss everything and I did miss a lot, but we were like very evenly matched. So anyways, we played a couple of games after that and I ended up beating him again. Sorry, but I gotta flex a little bit. But he was a chill dude. Like, so story, like I just met random bro at the gym who now I like have his number and I probably won't see again because I like went pretty late that day. But yeah, it was a fun time and very unexpected. Like I kind of just expected to shoot hoops and it to be a normal day, but I'm like, I got a little adrenaline flowing. I like popped the three for the dub. Like it was sick. It was sick. But all right, business time. Transitioning to life of the journey or transitioning to wisdom of the week. I had something that I think I want to incorporate onto the show, and I like slowly dabbling and doing this. I think it's a lot of fun for me, but I'm gonna give you the lead up here. So we got a clipboard. I might have to move the mic a little bit. Yup, just the yellow notepad. Like, yup. Yeah. It's getting clipped in too. We clipping that in. Yeah, there it is. And I just want to do like every week. I forget who I even stole this idea from. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like funny I bring up basketball, like when the coach is like, okay, huddle up, and he like scribbles all this crap on the piece of paper and it's just a bunch of X's and O's. Like, I just want to do a simple schematic for the wisdom and kind of just start to do that as the thumbnail. So then as you go through, you'll just see all these different like things that I've drawn, or I don't know, I could do quotes or something. But then I got like, so you guys could actually see it, like the fattest Sharpie known to man. If I can open it. Oh my god, this thing is fat. And just very simple based on the, oh my goodness, this might be too fat. Just a very, very simple, hold on, you can't see it. Very, very simple for today. For the thumbnail. Something like, I'm a really big fan of old things, you know, and I just think there's something so old and just traditional and just like, some things don't change about this, and this is one of them. This is like, I mean, that's like thumbnail potential right there. Just kind of shake that out. Like. So X, baby, let's go. Getting into it. Okay, so no, very, very like your interesting title. You're probably like, what is he gonna talk about? You know, first of all, I gotta complicate it. My friends hate when I have too many meanings with this kind of stuff, but I love to complicate it with a little double entendre. Shout out Kendrick, shout out Alex Gray. Okay, first half of no is gonna be, what should I do? I think the first half is going to be telling people no more often. And I think this is kind of a hot take because I think the trend of today is like, oh, say yes to more things, like do this, do that. But I think it's more so for people that maybe you don't rock with that much. And they're asking you to do stuff, they're asking you to do this, to do that. And maybe like you're just not feeling it. And I think like old me used to be very much so like, go with the flow, go with this, go with that. And I think go with the flow is good until you realize you're going with the flow of something that you don't like, right? And that's where going with the flow goes out the window. And that's what I like about all these phrases is that there's always a there's always like a gotcha, like none of these phrases always work all the time, and this is one of them. Like, you can't go with the flow if it's something you don't like. Like, if it's something you don't like, and every time you see this person or you do this thing, you just like, it's a negative experience. Like today, for example, I got home, ate a bunch of Gardettos. I love Gardettos to death, but I know after every time I eat them, I feel like absolute crap. And like, it doesn't go that way for all snacks with me. Like, Cheez-Its I'm generally a little bit better at, but Gardettos, I don't know what, but it just never goes well. And it's just like, Gardettos is like a very small example. Like, that's when you say no, right? But it goes more so for like, I think like hanging out with people, and it's easier said than done, because I think it depends on like the bandwidth of the people that you hang out with. Like, if you have one friend and they ask you to hang out a lot and you don't like really like when you hang out with them, I mean, I would say, yeah, like self-respect, like say no to that person, but then you just put yourself in total isolation. So at a certain point, it's like, you got to get out the door, right? But once you get to a point where you have a good variety of different people to hang out with and people to pull from, and maybe there's this one person that's, you see sometimes, but whenever you see them sometimes, it's always a pretty negative interaction. But like, you gotta like recognize after you hang out with them, like, how do you feel? Because if it's not majority of the time positive, and you're walking away with that having like gained something, or like feel like happy inside, like, you want to feel like you gained something out of the hangout with the person, right? And if you're not, like, you really have to put the foot down, and even though you may have established a relationship with this person, like, it might just be good to say no. And like, all of you are probably like, oh, who is it in your life? Who is it? It's no one. Like, it's not really anyone. But like, I think like I think like in the past, like years ago, like college and before college, like I like looking back, I think I reflect on some friendships that I had with people, and I'm like, I should have said no to that, and I never really did, and eventually like it just drifted away. But you don't have to let it drag out through like drifting away, right? Like, through me moving to Denver, those connections faded, right? But it's like, it didn't have to be like that. It could have just been like, no, like, and maybe you be polite about it and just kind of keep saying no, and eventually they get the message. But it's like, you don't have to like keep doing it if it's not a positive interaction. So I think saying no more, or just being more aware of like the situations you're putting yourself in, and are they the situations that you want to be in, right? So that's the first half of no, is saying no more. But then I think it's also the flip side of that, receiving no more. Like, receiving, when someone says no to you, like, instead of getting all like worked up about it and like bent out of shape, kind of just like accepting that that's their decision and there's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, while it might suck, it's like, it was their choice, right? And I think both of these, like receiving no more and being like okay with that, as well as dishing out no's more, I think are both like very, oh, like, it's very weird in society. Like, I don't want to tell them no because they're gonna think this and that. And then like, when they say no to me, then it's like, oh, like, they must not want to hang out with that, and it's like, both of these together in society are very like, oh, like, like touchy subjects and stuff. But it's like, it all comes back to like insecurity, and you like either not being able to stick up for yourself, or you like overthinking it way too much, where you're just like, yeah, and maybe if they say no three times in a row, then that means that they don't want to hang out anymore. But who cares? Like, move on. That obviously like wasn't the person for you, right? Like, and I think that's like definitely something to consider. And I think it comes down to, I think in high school, I really used to do this a lot, where I'd like find these friends that weren't that great, but then like, I could tell they weren't that great, but then I'm like, oh, like I have the key for them to like level up, and like get to this point. And like I'd show them things. I'd be like, I can get them to where I'm at. And you quickly come to realize that you can't like change a person, right? And it's like you can offer them like suggestions and feedback, but the no in this case is them like failing to like a see the feedback and then two reinforce it into their life, right? Like if you can't like if they're not willing to change, then that's the no, and you have to be all right with that no. And you can't like don't continue to just like keep like I can do it though, and like they'll learn eventually, by keep like reinforcing it. It's like no, they've shown you that they don't want to change. So like just it's weird, especially for people that have any sort of drive in anything at all. Like you don't want to give up on someone, especially someone that's close to you. But if you can tell that it's like you've done it all you can and they still don't see it, like there's nothing more to be done. There really isn't. And that's like been a very difficult thing for me to learn. And I think up until maybe a couple of years ago, like I didn't realize that, but now I kind of do. Like I'll still be like, oh, I can like show them this and see what they do. But if they don't change, like ultimately that change is up to them. And if they're not willing to say yes to that, I can't help you. Like there's nothing for me to do. So that's wisdom of the week. I kind of like making these short titles because they're like very unpredictable, I feel like. So saying no more often, as well as being okay with someone telling you no. Both of those together, I think, just make for more like direct interactions with people. Like, and ultimately, like what you find in life is that like, as I've touched on time and time again in these episodes, it's like life is just too short to be like dragging out interactions that you don't like with people, dragging out things that you maybe like do frequently that you like don't get a lot out of. It's like don't just go to them to like do them, right? Like go to them with something in mind that you want to like get out of it, whether that be introspection or this or that. Sometimes you just try new things and you see what happens. I'm talking about things that you are like comfortable with, you've been doing for a while. Like reflect on and make sure that those are still the things you like to do. And those are still like the people you like to hang out with, right? And if they're not, like be methodical about it and like like get rid of the excess. I imagine like when the grass gets overgrown and you cut that down, like cut the grass, bro. Like we don't want to see that overgrown grass that looks like crap. Like we want to see you have a select group that like you really mess with, and ultimately like nothing else matters, right? If that distant dude that you see maybe every couple months, like you hang out with and you like somehow you bump into him at a bar or something, like great, great. But like ultimately like you got to know who like butters your bread, right? And you got to know who's like actually looking out for you. So I think keep that in mind, and then keep in mind that it's it's okay to say no, but also like have grace for people that say no to you. It kind of is like a two-way street. Like if I'm going to teach you to say no more, then you got to be able to take no more. Right. And that's what I'd say. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated. If it was, too bad. So sad. But hope you enjoyed. Just, notebook hour, baby. Let's go. Like we're gonna get lit to this. There's gonna be some crazy art coming on the way, I'm sure. So get ready for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll like keep the old one. Oh, maybe I'll like date and sign them. So when this blows up, like I can be like, all right, remember the X from episode no? Like we're auctioning this off for like $70. Okay, I'll sign it on air too, just so you guys can see it, to make it like official. Ready? 5/1/25. See that? This is gonna be worth $100 one day, maybe more, thousands of dollars. Honestly, I'll probably just keep flipping them, and I'll have like a whole collection of the episodes. That'd be pretty sick. So, and then we'll write no. Boom. All right. Life the Germ. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you in the next one.